Okay. Oh, nobody's here yet. Well, some people here, but nobody in the chat. Hello, welcome, all that stuff. See if anybody joins us today. If anybody watching afterwards, and you don't know what the Covenstead is, it's where we all get together and chat about whatever we want to. So there's no topic. So I'm gonna have to wait for everybody else. I'm the first one here today. Right. Sort of. I must say I did the um Bruin Babble on Tuesday, which went pretty well. I'm not sure I'm going to talk about this week. I've probably covered all the news that I can find, so I'm going to have to see what comes up on a weekly basis to keep that going. But the Hedge and History live on Thursday was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Unfortunately, you know, Mercury retrograde decided it was going to mess with me halfway through and disconnected me. So I had to reconnect and do the other half. But I think we got through it eventually. But it was pretty good. Oh, I made that too hot. Maybe I need to do a pre-screen a bit longer. Or pre-live screen. So people are aware we're going live. I think I need to do it for 4 minutes today. So maybe that will help. Ah, hello. The Chosen, thanks for joining. What's your opinion on shared services in Patreon and other sites? Are they safe? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I think when we're talking about shared services, it becomes a bit more. I mean, not quite egregores, I suppose, but um, yeah, they're only safe if you trust the person who created them, um, and trust the group that work with them. It's the same with sigils, really. You get people like throwing around sigils in public and saying, this sigil is for money, and this sigil is for peace, and this sigil is for that, and everything else. If you don't know the person who created it and you don't trust them, or you don't know if you can trust them, you don't know if they actually created it for that particular purpose. So a shared servitor would be similar. They could say it was created for something, this whatever they're talking about, but it's quite possible it's just latching onto people and draining their energy to feed the creator, you know. Do It's magic. Lots of people do things like that. So be careful. Just find out what it is. Be sure. Do some divination if you need to. Um, but if it is a trusted source, if it is something that a servitor you can connect with without any kind of damage or harm to yourself or others, then use it, because the thing with the shared servitor is, as I said, becomes more along the lines of an egregore, because now there's a group of people who are feeding it, and that group make it stronger. So it can be very, very useful. Kerry, hello, hello. How you doing? Thanks for joining. It's very quiet today. Nobody here. So you guys. It's a pleasure. The coffee's still too hot. Do you use the tarot? I rarely do. I'm not a diviner. If I were to use a tarot, it would probably be for something like path working, but I haven't done that in a long time. So no, rarely use tarot. If I do use divination, because we should all know some form of divination. Um, yeah, if I do use divination to check information or whatnot, I will use the pendulum, and then for more complex questions, I usually use geomancy, but not the tarot, not me. Did you know that Waite designed it after the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet? Yeah, yeah. He incorporated a lot of Hermetic Kabbalah um, into the design, which Smith obviously painted. I think Smith also added a lot of influence into the designs as well. She was quite instrumental in the whole process. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing's based on Hermetic Kabbalah. The symbolism in the 22 cards, the major arcana is immense throughout the whole deck, really. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's very much where path working comes into this whole thing. Is you've got the 22 paths between the each sephira, um, and or sephirot, and the the, the each path is represented by a Hebrew letter. So the Hermetic Kabbalists came along and decided to add a tarot which relates to that, so that the path working itself, you kind of step into the tarot and move through the scenery and all that type of stuff. So yeah. Um, Chosen. What's the LS network? I have no idea. Can you give me some more context? We can have a look. Because all I've got is Lightspeed Network Solutions. Um, Radio Communication Service, US Telecom, and Global Network. No, you're going to have to give me more context there, I think. What is the LIRP? That's the Lesser Invoking Ritual of the Pentagram. So whereas you have the LBRP, which is the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, which banishes, you have the Invoking. For all intents and purposes, the LBRP does a form of invocation as well, but not the same type of invocation. Bringing the powers back in. So after you push out, it kind of you bring that kind of echoes and brings the power back to you. So you cleanse and then pull it all back, bring back what you need to bring back. So yeah, the LIRP is the lesser invoking. Alexis, hello there. How you doing? It's very quiet today. I'm not sure if everybody got the message. Um, the chosen. I heard that some servitors use Luciferian LS network to draw energy from. I don't know if that's anything to do with Michael Ford. Then yeah, I'm sure it's actually to draw energy to feed him. That's what he would do. Let's see. The term Luciferian LS network is a combination of two different lump. Philosophy. I'm not finding anything specific about the Luciferian LS network, really. I don't know what it is. No idea, mate. Sorry. I don't know. If I was to guess, pure guess, this is total guess, I would say that LS probably stands for Lucifer Satan. Because that's kind of like, that's quite edgy. So, that would be my guess, but I don't know. Really don't know. All right. Kerry, Hebrew Kabbalah seems like a lot of ceremony. No, Hermetic Kabbalah seems like a lot of ceremony. Before that, was Christian Kabbalah, which kind of like appropriated the Jewish Kabbalah. But Hermetic Kabbalah grew out of the Christian Kabbalah because there wasn't enough ritual and ceremony. It was just theory. So Hermetic Kabbalah became the ceremonial part of the whole scenario there. But Hebrew Kabbalah, I wouldn't say so, no. Um, Jewish Kabbalah is very much, well, I mean, if you speak about practical Kabbalah, um, it's it's quite simple actually. I mean, there are some complicated invocations and stuff because you have to learn all the permutations of sort of a divine name and whatnot. But there's a very good reason why you do that. But I'd say ceremonial magic, Hermetic Kabbalah is way more complicated. Yeah. Um, Alexis, I just had argument with my mum. I'm sorry about that. She can act so superficial and rude when it comes to the spirit world. Luckily, we get along on about other things. I have never even started exploring Kabbalah. It feels so overwhelming, but it also seems important to learn. I'm sorry about your argument with your mum, though. Yeah, there's a lot of people who just, it's not their cup of tea. Um, that's no good. It's no good trying to force it upon them either. I know we often have that thing at some point in our journey where, we kind of discover the ruby, and we have all the answers to the universe and that type of thing, and genuinely feels like we have, and we want to share that with everybody, because we have to kind of save everybody. It's that. It almost feels like that Christian background that we come from. We've got the answer now. We need to go and save all our friends and family. And then you kind of realize at some point, I'm going down that bad path again. You got to let other people discover it for themselves. If they're when they're ready, they're ready. Before that, it's no good trying to kind of force it upon them. And then regarding Kabbalah, I don't know if it is that important. It depends what your path is, what direction you're going in. Um, it's important if you're learning ceremonial magic, if you're going through Golden Dawn or Thelema, that kind of training. It can become important if you are being initiated into Wicca, because Wicca is very much influenced by Thelema, and ceremonial magic. So Hermetic Kabbalism does form a big part of it. But if you're going down the path of folk magic, traditional witchcraft, don't need any Kabbalah at all. It does come up. I mean, Robert Cochrane used to talk about Kabbalah um, quite often, quite a lot. Used to make comparisons with particular things, but it's not necessary because it's a different tradition, totally different tradition. It just seems to, because it forms, or Western mystery tradition forms a big part of what we tend to follow, what we kind of fall into as we, especially when we're coming onto the paths. You know, we kind of like pick up neo-paganism and neo-Wicca and things like that, which become very ceremonially based. Then it falls into that Western mystery tradition, and the inner traditions and things like that. And then we will then, usually start exploring in that direction. But as I said, if you're just going folk witchcraft, traditional witchcraft, something like that, it doesn't really form part of it. So, not important then. The Chosen. Can we do path working for Hariel? Then to ask to move pendulum to do divination. What's the best entity to ask for divination? How to make sure it's not only my subconscious mind. Please hold, just need to check who Hariel is. It sounds like an angelic name because it has an L at the end. Uh, have you got another name? Possible. Um, oh, wait, and the angel, Hariel. Okay, here we go. Kabbalistic. The Comforting God is the 15th angel of the Shem. Oh, it's just one of the 72 angels. Okay, I don't follow that myself, but all right. That's why I haven't heard the name or not familiar with it. All right, so let me go back to your question. Can we do path working for Hariel? So you can do what not it's not strictly a path working, but what it becomes is like a guided meditation almost. So you kind of do, as I say, we generally call them path workings, but not strictly. But it's a journey to go and meet Hariel, and then you can ask for aid and assistance with your divination. I'm going to give you a link just now. I'll go find it, which is an excellent book for learning how to actually use the pendulum. It's helped a lot of people, so it might help you as well if you're interested. But entities that you can ask for divination, I created a servitor to help me with mine. Um, I'm assuming when you say you're now asking not just the pendulum, you're asking for general divination work. A good one would be Astaroth from the Goetia. Um, if you're into modern demonology, Delabatore is fantastic spirit to use to call to help you with divination. There's quite a few. I mean, if you go through like this the catalogs of the spirits, like the Goetia, for instance, you'll probably find a lot of them speak about knowing the past, present, and future, or what is to come, all such things. That kind of associates them with being some kind of spirit associated with the divination. So they can all be used in that aspect. But specifically teaching you divination and stuff like that, Delabatore is a fantastic spirit, really. Um, but I was going to find a link. Hold on, let me go find that link. It's a short little manual that somebody wrote and just put up for free on the internet. Um, but I know it's helped a lot of people with their pendulum work. While I'm finding that, let me just go through the rest. Andrea's here. Hello, Andrea. Thanks for joining. Quiet today. We've got So you're gonna have to come up with lots of questions. Kerry, has anyone heard of Goetic star demons? Oh goodness, no. What the hell is that? Please don't. They're starting to like crossover between Goetia and Star Children or something, whatever they're called. Um, and Lexus 2 is here. Hello, hello. Okay, we go there. So I'm just trying to find a link for the Chosen for pendulum work. Okay, so it's called the or Letter to Robin. It's available in a few different translations. Go there and download it. And as I said, if you really want to learn divination, give that a try. You know, especially if you're battling with it, give that a try. It's the method he uses to explain how to program the pendulum is fantastic, really good. But chose. Oh yeah, Kerry's got to tell me what these goetic star demons are now. Otherwise, I'll have to go try and search for it just now. The chosen. Thank you. Can you send me the link? Yes, yeah, that's just done. Where can I find your servitor? So the servitor, if you go onto my Patreon and you join the journal tier, you will find a collection in there called the Egregore Project. And it's split in, there's two collections. The Egregore Project Spirits, which is kind of like a bit like a catalogue of the spirits themselves. And then the Egregore Project videos, which was just my recordings once a month of me creating servitors and all the Egregores themselves and etc. etc. So one of them in there is specifically that I created for divination for the pendulum actually. So what I do is I hold the pendulum, you know, the chain here, the pendulum here in my hand, in my fist, and I'll say the name three times and say answer true, and then I'll ask for a yes answer, I'll ask for a no answer, and then I'll start asking my questions. Works pretty well. Alexis 2 at Alexis 1, yes. I love this. I'm gonna have to come up with nicknames for each of you that's a bit more defined. Um, However, there are certain spirits who know a lot about the nature herbs and how to use them. A good example is Decorabia. Was that in terms? Was that in relation of the to the? Oh, hold on. I think I missed one. Please hold. Sorry, Alexis. One. I think I missed something. Thank you, Lee. I think I'm more into pagan and polytheist path, sigil and invocation magic, not herbal or nature magic. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, absolutely. Um, but I mean, this whole thing is about defining your own path, it's building your own path, and where it takes you. You know, you have to find it yourself. Um, yeah, okay, there we go. All right, it's a pleasure. And for those who have just joined, as I was saying just now, it's very quiet today. So I think we're still waiting for the usual ruffians to join. Oh wait, I'm gonna go look for this poetic star demons now. Oh God, here we go. Do I even want to know? Star demons. Okay. All right. So this has taken the concept of the decans. It's basically assigning, making them astrological. Okay. No. Honestly, I think it's. I mean, I complicated the system myself in my own method, but I think this is just going way more complicated. Um, interestingly enough, who was it? Alexis 2 mentioned Decarubia, and in relation to these 70 or the Goetic star demons, Decarubia is famously known specifically as the star demon or star devil. It's probably worth in it. This is obviously I mean, it's got to be a modern thing though. I mean, this is even going beyond the association of the 72 spirits with the 72 angels. But yeah, it works. It works as long as it works. Um, where am I? Andrea, I could do with some magic ideas for making my next door neighbors move elsewhere. Are they renting or did they have they bought? Because if they're renting, quite often they've got a lease that they need to stick to. Depends on terms and conditions of their lease. But just hotfoot them. It's the easiest, it's quickest. Just throw some of that hot powder on them. They're renting. Do they have a lease that they have to stick to? Because I know I sign here, if I sign a year lease, and I decide to work out or move out 6 months before my lease is finished, if they can't find somebody else to rent, I have to pay the rent for those 6 months. So, and pay the rent at my new place. So it's a bit difficult to get out of sometimes. So that can be a bit of a hiccup if you're trying to get people to move. Go through Alexis. Alexis, you're rightly. There are many types of magic and practices, and we can all choose and use what resonates with us the most. That's it. Yep. Oh, Psycat's joined. Hello, hello. With his wonderful expletive of words and titles. Thank you very much. No, I'm going to tell you just. I'm going to start telling Psycat to sod off every time he does that. Yeah. Everybody will like, don't tell him to be hot. Dude, such a horrible person telling people to sod off. Yeah. The Chosen. Can I let Servitor have some powers from Demon? You can do. If you create a servitor, what you might want to do is petition the spirit itself. I think this is an old practice, petitioning. We used to do it with the gods in neo-paganism. So basically, you have a spell working you want to do. In this case, it would be the servitor you're creating, and then what you do is you invoke or evoke the god form, the energy itself. In this case, the daemon, the spirit, whichever, whatever you're working with, and evoke that energy into your space, and then kind of like ask it, petition it to fill or power up the spell, the servitor. Um, you can ask it to take its qualities and add it into the servitor, so it shares those qualities and those principles and things like that. Yeah, so you can do that definitely. Alexis, Andrea, another thing you could try is change their mind through magic, like make them act the way you want. Could do that, yeah. Council housing is a bit different. Oh, is that very kind of like month by month? Because that makes things a lot easier. Yeah, I'll just hotfoot them all. As Alexis mentioned, just you can change their mind. There's actually a method. I think it's on my it's an old video of mine. I'll just see if I can find it. It's called the happiness technique that Jacobus taught me long time ago. Where you actually project your ideas, your thoughts into somebody else. And the fun thing is that they think it's their plan and their idea. So they're like, I will do it because I thought of it, and powerful, so they go and piss off. Well, it was your idea, but it gets it done anyway. Let me just check if it actually did. Yes, yeah. It's got a picture of a person with a puppy over their shoulder, of course, because that's happiness. Copy link. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, I think this is it. Go try that. It's a brilliant method, and it's so simple. It's really simple. It works brilliantly on tyrants as well. Um, Kerry, I haven't skipped anything, no. Friends, if you are looking to make big life changes, now with the Barbolt basket would be a good time. I'll take your word for it. I have heard of this Barbolt basket, but I can't remember what it was now. Let's have a look. Barbolt basket. I assume it's an astrology thing, which is why I'm not familiar with that. Rare planetary alignment associated with the work of French. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, just wait until after the retrograde, though. Might not be a good time. The chosen. So I should petition or invoke the entity, not just say while creating to get power from certain entity. You would kind of do it all together. So you would build up your servitor, and then well, it's this ball of energy, depending on how you create it, obviously, it's the way I do it anyway. So I kind of build up this ball of energy and I push my intent into it and everything else. And then what you can do is you can just evoke the spirit that you want to petition, ask that to come in, and then you can ask it to add its energy into this ball that you've already got. You can do it kind of the other way around, where you petition, you evoke the spirit first, then you create the servitor, and then you ask the entity or petition the entity to add its influence, its energies into uh, that big ball of energy. You can do it that way, yeah. Alexis, Paimon apparently is great about mind influence. Not sure. Never worked with Paimon. Never had a need or interest. Let's have a look. And Alexis, the happiness technique, thanks. That's a pleasure. There is one thing you might find interesting about that happiness technique. So with the happiness words today, with the happiness technique, one of the things you need to do is try and find something with the other person which you admire. You totally admire about them. Um, And sometimes that's very, very difficult. When I was first taught this, I went out and tried to use it on random people. And we were at a pub one night, and there was this guy there, and he had his two children with him, young children, and he was just a really horrible man. He was just horrible. He was just ugly, inside and out, and a single thing that I could admire about him. So I went back to my teacher and said, got this problem. How do you find something to admire when the person is such a horrible, ugly, just waste of life that they have nothing which is admirable? And she said, what you do is you kind of tap into the idea and the principle that everybody started out at some point as being an innocent, as being pure, and that purity you can admire. So you kind of reach back into who they were when they were born, type of thing, that purity that they had, and you tap into that admiration. And then once you tap into that, you've got a connection. and your nefesh then connects with their nefesh, and you get an instant attraction, right? And when that happens, you can start passing thoughts to them. You know, do this, do that. And as I said, it works brilliantly on tyrants because they think it's their idea all along, you know. So they come and like make this a big gesture and this big announcement that they decided that they're going to be doing this and this and this. Meanwhile, it was your idea to benefit you. So you just kind of play along and go, yeah, okay, cool. But it's very interesting method. Psycat, sweeties for me. Thank you, thank you. I do like my sweet. Actually, not today. I've got a sore tooth this weekend, so I'm staying away from the sweets. Um, Andrea, thank you, Lee. The reason I have a cat and two kittens, I also don't like the way they bully their dogs. It's one of those people. Yeah, we don't like those people. Call Hecate to go deal with them and see what happens. Nia, hello, Nia. It's been a very long time. Yeah, glad you could join. Um, I've been doing very well, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Da Wizard, hello, Da Wizard. Have you worked with Lady Vereen? Very briefly, actually. Um, I think by the time I was introduced to Vereen, I already had kind of like a strong team that I already work with. So, you know, this came a bit later, especially with the introduction of modern demonology and Connolly, where really, I mean, that came out of. Um, so there aren't many spirits from Connolly that, specifically from Connolly, that I work with. Eurynomus is one of them I do work with. But as I said, by that time, I'd already kind of created a basis, a team that I was working with, that I still work with now. So there's not much I wanted to add from all these others. But I've worked with her very briefly. Lovely spirit, lovely energy. Um, Very flowy and watery and healing. Oh, it's just, yeah, lovely energy, I think. Nick knows better. Okay. Um, the beginner. What should I expect working with President Prince Garp? Is he beginner friendly? I believe so. Let me just double check on Garp. Sorry, my nose is very itchy. My mustache is tickling my nose again. Um, I'm not sure about, if this is like the first spirit you're coming into contact with. I haven't heard get up being one of those that people kind of speak about in this regard. But honestly, I mean, if you've done your foundational training, if you've got your discernment going, if you're doing all the right things, then there shouldn't be anything to worry about. Just take it slowly, build a relationship, that kind of thing. Don't demand, don't force, and you won't get the same reaction back. But yeah, as I said, as long as you've got your foundational stuff done, you're moving into the spirit space now, you know, just take it slowly. Um, Alexis 2, I suggest you call me Alexis T and Alexis. Alexis W. Oh, it's Alexis T and Alexis W. But that's just I can just do Alexis 1 and 2. Andrea, he ate. Who ate? Did your neighbor eat? Not sure. Okay. Um, yeah, no, we're gonna go with Alexis 1 and Alexis 2 for the meantime. We'll come up with some good names, I'm sure. Interesting. Even if the woman is no longer that pure person, but completely different one, about that woman, what I'd admire is how extreme and unapologetic she is. Yeah, that is something to admire. You know, as I said, it can be the weirdest, craziest thing. Like a man has a amazing mustache. You know, in some cultures that is like a sign of power. So you know, you can definitely appreciate a good mustache and admire a good mustache. So it can be anything, yeah. But unapologetic, yes, that is something you can definitely admire in somebody. Um, Kerry, I value my boundaries too much for this happiness method. Okay, that's fine. I can understand that. Because you do, yeah, you do have to connect your. This is where things could get a bit sticky though, because sure, you have to connect your nefesh to their nefesh in order to push your thoughts onto a person, but we connect energetically with everybody anyway. We're always passing power backwards and forwards. Um, it's just what we do naturally. Well, that's my understanding. It might not be yours or somebody else's. That's why I say it depends on worldview and things like that. But yeah. Um, Better than numbers. Okay, fine. I'll say Alexis W and Alexis T. Okay, all right. You guys win. All right, fine. Um, Andrea Hecate, of course. Oh, it's a pleasure. Yeah. Nia, nice, glad to hear. I've been through a chaotic time. It's still going. Lots of changes, but mainly good ones. Haven't had much time for magic, but I'm doing what I can. Yeah, I love the rainbow beanie in the back. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wear it when it's a bit cold when I go for a walk in the evening. So um, I'm normally wearing black, so that's the brightest thing I have. Uh, um, did your daughter make it for you? Yes, she did. Yeah, she did. Funny enough, I actually now I'm people. A lot of people find me very scary, even if they haven't met me or don't know me. And when I walk, I'm a very kind of burly kind of person, you know. And I actually there was a gay couple that were walking towards me, and my instant thought was they're going to think I'm like a, you know, I've got a beard and I'm bald as well, so I look like a white supremacist half the time. And I don't want to give people that impression because I'm definitely not. So I got home from a walk one day and I said to my daughter, "Can you make me um, a rainbow beanie?" And so yeah, now I go and wear that, and um, yeah, makes a bit of a change, I suppose. I feel better. Let's put it that way. Um, okay, I'm not going to say that. Wait, El Giorgio Lorenzo dos Santos. Okay, I'm gonna call you George. Is that okay? Um, Hello. What's today's topic? No topic. We just get together and we discuss whatever you want to discuss, whatever you want to talk about. So if you've got questions, just drop them in the chat, and we'll chat about them. You did say, I'm curious, are you from South Africa? If so, how does one find other magical folks? Also, what times you go live because you'd open, love your videos. Thank you very much. Yes, I am in South Africa. If you're in South Africa, then go onto Facebook. There is a fantastic group called, let me just double check so I give you the right name and I'm not lying to you. It is called Witches of South Africa, as far as I know. Hold on. Witches of South Africa. And now it's not coming up. Oh, there it is. Yes. So it's called Witches of South Africa. Wonderful group, wonderful, fantastic people. Hang on, that's not the right one. I'm thinking of another one. That's Wazza. That one's dead now. Hold on, hold on. Let me go. I will find the group for you. Okay, I'll find it. We'll just scroll through a bit, and it should pop up. Uh, uh, yeah, well, it's obviously not going to pop up now that I'm going to look for it because that's how life works. Oh God, making big noises. Um, I'll find it for you just now. When we have a bit of a lull in chat. Um, what was your other question? Oh, so I'm currently now have 3 lives a week. So I've got the Tuesday Brew and Babble. I'll just kind of fill everybody in with news, what's going on. I'm not sure how that's going to go, if there's enough news to carry me through or not on a weekly basis, but we'll see how it goes. I only started that this past week. That's on a Tuesday at, if you're in South Africa, 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Thursday, I do another one on 7 p.m. on Thursday. That's the history or Hedge and History show. These are just like 20 minutes where talking head shows. I don't really interact much, but if you've got a question, you can throw it in the chat and I'll answer it at some other stage. But that's about folk magic, such things, people in history and whatnot. And then I do this one. So this starts. It is in South African time. It's 4 p.m. every Sunday for a couple of hours. So yeah, all right. Let me just get through some of these chats, and I'll try and find that group in the meantime as well. Yeah, it's always when you want to find something you can't bloody find. Eh, Anyway, um, it's probably just called South African Witches. We'll try that. Let's try that. Hold on. South African Witches. And it is, yes, it's called South African Witches. Yeah, go look for that group. There you go. All right, Nia. Funny enough, even though I had almost no time for elaborate magic, my bond with all my guides and deities has become stronger than ever, though the little everyday things and communication I did. I'm very grateful for that. That can happen, and it's quite often because you're not focused on your daily magical stuff anymore. So certain areas kind of like become more apparent. Um, but yeah, it's good though. Let's see, Alexis T. Ooh. After studying the occult for a year, I realized something. When the Israelites escaped Egypt, they made a golden statue of Nox. This idol might have been Moloch. No, I don't think it was. No, no, I think it's completely different. The they did worship a bull god um, before they kind of, you know, became a bit more. Well, people say them it's monotheistic, but it's not actually monotheistic. But they did when they were in Egypt, they did worship a bull god. There's actually a great cover. Hold on, let me grab it. Twist myself around. This is Yakuba Swat's first book, and the illustration that a friend of his did is just marvelous. You can see the horns of the bull, and the face of the bull is actually made of the woman's body. Um, Fantastic illustration. But yeah, that's an association of the bull that was worshipped by the early Hebrews. But I don't think it was Moloch at all. That's a completely different area. It's a very specific area, actually. Um, Giorgio, what inspired you to do magic or get into magic? I don't know, it's a long time ago. I was one of those kids that was always interested in the paranormal and supernatural stuff. So, you know, the ghosts and astral projection and Christos technique was one of the earliest things I learned when I was like 14 or something. Um, I was reading all of Lobsang Rampa's books when I was 12 because we'd just moved to South Africa. I was just turned 11 at the time, and it was when I was pushed into the the last grade in primary school, and I got through that, and then the next year was high school, and I was a loner. I didn't have any friends, so I used to go and sit at the Florida Library and found Lobsang Rampa books and all the books on ESP and Xenocards and all of that stuff. And yeah, so I was a 12-year-old sitting on the library floor learning about the occult. Um, the, what inspired me, it became my friend. It became my best friend at the time, not really what it was. You also said, Lowell, white supremacist, you're funny. What's your thoughts on Nordic rune magic and Vitki Nordic black magic? I don't follow the Nordic path, especially rune magic. I'm not a rune meister because it is so intense. It's not one of those things you kind of want to throw around because each rune holds a power of part of the power of the cosmos, and people kind of use them as letters, just throw them together willy-nilly. Don't do that, it's bad. But yeah, I have a very good friend who is heathen, who is a Gothar. So yeah, I'll leave that to them. Much safer that way. Um, Alexis, that's so nice. Way to go. And yes, people might assume wrong when they don't know someone. What was that in relation to? Can't remember now. Oh no. Okay. Anyway, carrying on. Nia, I love the story about the beanie. Thanks for sharing. It's a pleasure. As a queer person myself, appreciate that so much. Oh no, it's an absolute pleasure. Um, Stormy just got the live notification. Okay, well, thanks for joining. Joining now. It's like almost an hour later. YouTube's useless, it really is. Oops, I skipped. Hold on. Giorgio, thanks. It is close to Johannesburg. That's where I'm situated. Okay, all right. You're in South Africa. Curious, how did you handle your Saturn return? I don't even remember my Saturn return. I wasn't into or connected into any astrological stuff at the time when my Saturn return came about. Um, so I don't remember. I don't know. It's probably going to come up again. I'm getting a bit old now. Um, and you also said, I hate how they're pushing foreigners out and Thursday's government is doing Jupiter magic. Yeah, they did this about 20, 25 years ago. It's the xenophobia that comes along. Uh, just, I don't know. There seems to be a cycle every 20 years. They go a bit crazy with it. But governments. Stormy said, as I'm reading through the chat, I see Andrea is having the same problem with bad neighbors. Yeah, unfortunately, I keep trying, but nothing is working. I feel like I'm missing something for it to happen. Yeah, no, look, when your magic isn't working, there's probably a reason for it. So what you want to do in that case is do some divination. Um, Funny story, I am experiencing the effects of years of doing magic over and over again and thinking it wasn't working, and now all of a sudden it's all decided to work at the same time with my dreaming. Um, I'm having narcoleptic events and all sorts of weird stuff going on at the moment because it all just decided, oh, we're going to do it all now, you know. So, yeah, so be careful if you're doing magic and you think it hasn't worked. It may have, it's just going to take a while for it to manifest, and it might do it on its own time. So just be careful what else you're throwing at it. So therefore, as I said, do some divination. Why didn't it work? Find out why it didn't work, instead of just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at it, you know. Um, Giorgio, does your daughter also do magic? No, she doesn't. No, she's kind of loosely following her own path, but nothing serious. Um, that's a pleasure. And then you asked, you think the bull god was Taurus under celestial magic, which uses fixed stars because financiers use astrology for trading. The bull god of the Hebrew and Egyptians, I don't know. Not really something I got into or really checked the background on, to tell you the truth. But probably not. Probably wasn't celestial magic or anything like that. Or connected to astrology in any way. It was just the bull god, the same. You know, the horned god, the master, old Nick, etc., etc., is just god of the witches. Um, Nothing celestial about it, nothing astrological about it, or anything like that. Stormy, I signed up to help clean up a cemetery in September. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Are you doing it at night time? You just do it at night time. If I did that, I would ask for nighttime access. We'll go do my ceremonies, my rituals and stuff at night time. Kerry would speak of guides and servitors, but we also have real world witch friends we dote on. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think our friends, our community is some of the most important beings that we interact with. Yeah. Alexis, let me try to grab some coffee. I once petitioned Lady Lilith to help with bad neighbours. They were bad mouthing me, and my landlord was threatening me. But after a week, I decided to move out. The new place, there was no issues. That's actually something that you might find happens when you do magic. Um, you you want to change your situation because your neighbors are arseholes. And quite often what happens is you're the one who moves. Because in that move you gain a better position. And yeah. And then people kind of think, oh, the magic didn't work. It did. It just didn't quite go the way you thought it would. But it's still you getting into a better position. So yeah, all those things about it. Giorgio, I feel when I was a shaman, my rune name was Pethto. That shit don't play as crows come along like cunning folks. It's a very confusing sentence, that is. 20 years Pluto cycle. Roughly check out a book called Under the Sign of Scorpio, Yuri Lana. It's about how governments use astrological magic to manipulate folks. Oh, they definitely do, yeah. Companies do as well. Um, uh, we do as well. Just general people use astrology to map your life and find the best course. You know, that's absolutely something that goes on. Um, Castle, hello, Castle. Patience when doing magic. Yes, that's usually a good thing to do. All right, there we go. Got to the end. We have a lull in the messages. Yeah, but check out back to Giorgio. Check out the South African pagan or South African witches group on Facebook. There's a great bunch of people. All right. Cthulhu, hello, hello. The website is Books for Hecate. Is that a statement or a muddled up question? Because I could totally see how that's a statement. Castle, I'm going to drum ceremony at the end of the month. I'm a bit excited about it. Oh, I would be as well. Very good. Giorgio Petrotype. I was saying birds were following me like Odin. Okay. Stormy, I will never move because of bad neighbors. My rescued dog's cemetery is on my property. My property is being given to my granddaughter when I die. I could never leave my buried dogs. That's a different situation, obviously. Yeah. Catherine, hello, Catherine. If someone were just starting out, what would your advice be? This might sound rude, but I'm going to say it anyway. Sit down and shut up. Um, do your meditation. That's your that's like the cornerstone of everything in magic. Meditation. Sit down and when we say meditation, it can be applied onto a lot of different things. You use your meditation to quiet the mind. You use meditation to train your mind into concentration and focus. You use meditation to get into trance states. You use meditation for breath work, which regulates certain things in the body. You use meditation to when you're doing energy work. So meditation is like the cornerstone of practically everything in magic. So yeah. Well, you say it doesn't sound rude at all. It kind of does if you go like sit down and shut up. Um, but the other side of that is we kind of say that it's sit down and shut up. Sit down, be quiet, meditate. But meditation doesn't always have to be like that either. And this is where a lot of people kind of, especially when they come first onto any kind of spiritual path, it's learn your meditation. And then we have this idea that the only way you meditate is to sit down in lotus position or half lotus or something with your spine erect and your eyes closed and you've got a good mudra going and you are, training your mind to be quiet and all this stuff. That's not the only way you have to meditate. And a lot of people do that, they fail and they say, I can't do it. Especially people with ADHD. There's loads and loads and loads of different ways to meditate. One of the main reasons you do meditation in magic is to get to a point where you are in the state of one pointed focus. ADHD people naturally do that. It's like easy peasy for them. But they sit down and try and do meditation and they think they can't do it because they've got a different way of doing things. Their brain works differently, everything works differently. So you have to find the way that works for you. And sometimes that could be music, sometimes it could be walking, sometimes it could be Andrea likes to peel potatoes. Um, there's loads of ways to do it, but yeah, it is about meditation, about stilling the mind, bringing yourself into it's training the mind. So stilling the mind, bringing it into concentration and focus, learning how to get into trance states, um, etc. All right. And then obviously the next thing besides that is read as much as you possibly can. Just immerse yourself in as much reading, listening to people, talking to people, questioning people. Questioning is huge. Question everything. Ask questions galore, which is why we're here. Ask all the questions you want. I might not have all the answers. I definitely don't have all the answers. Um, Sometimes I can kind of fudge my way through it because I've experienced it in the past, but it's not something I do myself. but I can give you enough of an answer which can get you going. If I don't know it all, I probably can find something that will help you, someone, because I've kind of been exposed to it or whatever. But question. Okay. And learn as much as you can. Many different paths and traditions as you can, because you've got to find your own way. You've got to build your own way. So yeah. Right. So let's see. Giorgio. Thanks. What's your thoughts on radionics and psionics and technomancy? I think it's fantastic. Um, I, I love it. I think it's an absolute brilliant pursuit. It's just one that I cannot get myself in. There's not enough time to do all this bloody stuff. So all these other pursuits, I don't have enough time to go into radionics and whatnot. I'd love to, absolutely love to, because I think it's brilliant. Um, it's a brilliant side project. Let's put it that way. And then you also said you sound British. Do you do Druidism? I did for a little while. Apparently, my grandfather was a Druid, but he wasn't a very nice person, so we don't talk about that. But I was born in Coventry in England. Came here when I was 10, turning 11. That was 1982. So that was a wee while back. But yeah, I did pursue a druid path at one stage, um, which was interesting, but funny enough, it's not British. I'm not English. I'm from England. I'm not Celtic, so it's not. I'm not in the same region. I would be more Anglo-Saxon if I were to follow my absolute Anglo-Saxon heathenry. Um, right, where am I now? Lexus W. Sometimes when I do silent meditation, I'd experience spirit trying to channel or communicate through me, as if when I close the door to my restless thoughts, I open the door to spirit's voices. Yes, absolutely. You'll find a lot of things happen during silent meditation. And you'll find that something it doesn't happen to everybody and it doesn't happen all the time. When you get to the 18-minute mark, kind of like there's something that happens. It's kind of like an awakening type of thing. You might get a burst of light. I'm trying to think of things that happened to me. It could be a burst of light. It's like that sudden kind of like you just suddenly shook awake type of thing in your meditation. Um, you might have experiences where you go into hypnagogic states. You are between awake and sleep, and you start to have visions. And if you continue doing that because you are meditating, probably on a daily basis, you'll find that you start to hear voices. Now, this is going to be very, very different to spirit communication. You'll probably find that they are not talking to you, they're not saying anything to you. It's almost like tuning into a radio and you just get these weird little snippets of the end of a conversation or something like that. If you do start hearing voices audibly, then go to the doctor because there could be something wrong. But the hypnagogic state that you find yourself in is different. But yeah, just be careful of those things. But I found myself my absolute favorite experience while I was meditating was that I suddenly found myself I was kneeling in my room, but I found myself kneeling on a grass bank next to a stream, and it was very sunny and everything else. And I looked up, and there's this African guy, and he's looking at me. He's going, "You're not supposed to be here." And then I just flipped back to where I was physically. Yeah, some very interesting things that happen when you do silent meditations. Kerry said, develop healthy boundaries for discernment and communication with spirit. That's very important if you're going to go into spirit work. Discernment in a general sense is a very important thing to learn. It's something you should be doing early on in your one-on-one training, your foundational stuff. But yeah, if you're going to go into spirit work, then start learning discernment. Very important. Test the spirits, learn how to test them. Alexis W, still mind, grounding, mastering, all that gives so much power and calmness. Yeah, absolutely. You change your way of being as well, the way you view the world and whatnot. So it's very helpful. Castle, build a foundation is important as well. Without it, you're in deep shit. Yeah. This is why we say, I think we call it foundations because if you try to build a house without foundations on sand, it falls down. If you have weak foundations, the house will fall down. So you want to have strong foundations so that, when you build your house, it stays up. It doesn't fall over, and nothing crumbles. So you build your strong foundations. And I love coming back to foundations. I mean, going to be doing the masterclass, the Crooked Path masterclass, starting in September, and that is um, 101 foundational practices, foundational training. You're going to be learning your meditation. You're going to be learning your energy work. You're going to be learning how to contact various spirits, starting with the ancestors, starting with the elemental kings, and all such things. Learning particular magic techniques, all the foundational stuff, protection, cleansing, warding, discernment, etc., etc., etc. And I'm going to be doing that again. I love going back and doing all the foundations, particularly the daily exercise and daily meditations, because it keeps every time you do it, it keeps strengthening your foundations over and over again. Oops, hang on, it skipped all the way up there. Kerry, definitely. Foundation is crucial. Catherine, what books do you recommend regarding meditation and other magic subjects? Meditation can be difficult to recommend a book, even a group of books. Um, if you're pursuing witchcraft specifically, you're going to find that it's mentioned in practically every book, every 101 book. Um, if you want to pursue meditation specifically, then probably something along the lines of Buddhism, Vajrayana. Is it Vajrayana? I think it's Vajrayana. Um, Vipassana meditation is very good. It's more mindfulness. But that's if you want to pursue meditation specifically. Um, which is a good thing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But your basic meditation of sit down, gain one pointed focus, and quiet the mind. That's kind of the basis of what you're after. Then everything else follows on from that. Um, and other magical subjects. There's so many books we could recommend. I'm currently reading with we're doing the review next week. On my Patreon, I'm doing a book club, and we're currently reading Six Ways by Aidan Watchter, and I think it's an absolutely brilliant beginner's book. It really is brilliant. It goes through all the necessary stuff and very simply as well. Nothing complicated or drawn out. That's really one of the good beginner's guides. So I would recommend that one. But there are also, I have to say, there's so many like it. Absolutely. I mean, Psychic Witch, Matt Oren is one of them. Um, the one I started with was Marion Green's A Witch Alone. It's not. really get into the meditation and the steps, and that's more kind of like exploring the land and your environment, and then yourself, and getting yourself into magic that way. It's kind of like more of a kind of folky traditional witchcraft approach, which is pretty good. Um, yeah, see, if you want to get into practical Kabbalah, the Book of Self-Creation by Yakoba Swat. I mean, it's a tome. It's a bloody huge book. It's all of his books are big though. This is like how many pages long? I get through all of the notes in the back. Oh, there we go. It's like 437 pages long. But I mean, this is a monster. But it's a brilliant book. And then he's got the extending on this is in two parts. So again, two books the same size as it, which is the Book of Immediate Magic, Part One and Part Two. So it kind of expands on this and goes more advanced. I mean, that's just it's amazing. Um, but yeah, no, it depends specifically what path you want to go down. You're going to find different books for different purposes. Um, Stormy, I was researching to buy a castle in Scotland, ooh, Ireland, etc. They're all so full of spirits, and they're cheaper than homes in America. I know. You should also look into forests. You can buy forests. There are certain rules. You have to cut down a certain amount of trees, I think on an annual basis or something like that, because it helps the environment and whatnot. But oh yeah, I'd love to go buy a forest. Exchange rates in South Africa are a bit shitty though. Alexis, I've heard of many crazy magic stories. One magician claims that he has made a person sell him a car for 15,000 euro to 8,000 euro. He uses a certain technique to get what he wants. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. If it's true, okay, but I'm not even sure I would put that into kind of the unethical category, because you're forcing people to do things which could be harmful to them, really. You know, dropping the price that much on a car, um, they might need to pay for something like a hospital visit or something, which is why they're selling the car off. And you're kind of like doing a disservice. It gets a bit unethical sometimes, so just gotta be a bit careful in those regions. Um, Giorgio, I want to go to England. I like the imperial magic Shakespeare spoke of in The Tempest. What are spiritual places in England besides Stonehenge? Glastonbury. Cornwall's fantastic. It's where the Witches Museum is. Um, Devon, that's more Wales. Um, there's a lot of places in England. Bath is if you want to visit like sacred spiritual waters, springs and wells and things. Bath is amazing. Yeah, there's a lot all over. Um, there's the tours and the mounds and the burial mounds and stuff like that as well, all over. Um, Andrea, I'm still listening, but feeding, watering, and cleaning litter trays. Okay. Alistair is depressed again. Oh no. Gonna have to work on Alistair. Um, Castle asked what's wrong with Alistair. I'll be praying for him. Alexis W said no. Thankfully, oh, hold on, I was skipping. Thankfully, audible voices, no. I get so scared. Telepathically, usually, or feeling strong pull to speak out loud or write something, but it's like only words or half sentences. Yeah, that's fine. Um, yeah, that's kind of the communication we kind of should be getting as those impressions, the ideas and things like that. But yeah, hearing voices. But as I said, during those hypnagogic phases, I kind of get as I said, it's like the end of a conversation. And it's just these random words that kind of like pop up. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but it happens. Um, you also said yes to the foundation course project will be great and beneficial. Which name did you decide on? So I think you might be talking about the Goetia one there, because I kind of asked people to sort of vote on a name or suggest a name. So to clear that up, I've got the Crooked Path Masterclass, which is the 8-month foundational course. That's the big masterclass, and then I'll be doing the Goetia 4-month masterclass, and I decided on a name I cannot remember now. Hang on, we'll find it. I'm gonna actually add that to the website this coming week, and put that on sale because that one I can storm through it. I've already got all the material. I'm just putting it all together in a legible, fashion, so that it can be taught in a 4-month course. So that's quite easy to put together. It's the planetary magic one. I'm going to take some time, like a year or something, to actually put together properly. And the name is Beyond the Grimoire, a practical Goetia masterclass. That was the name. Yes. Right. Castle, Qigong and Neigong, if he wants that as well. What was that for? I've missed that bit. Is that for foundational work you're talking about? That's yeah. Qigong's very good for the foundational energy work. Yeah. Giorgio Neigong is let you taking me back to my Taoist days. Kerry, I think the tarot is about as deep as I'll go with the Kabbalah. Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to connect the tarot to the Kabbalah. It can be its own little monster on its own, you know. Castle I've been doing for 15, going on 16 years. Y'all do the clip off? No, 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 no. Don't do the clip off, yeah. I'm sure some people in the audience do. I don't. Um, I've got my whole reason. I'm going to have to record something that explains this and then just play it every time someone asks. It's almost twice a month, I think somebody asks. But no, I don't do the clip off. I'm an old fart, let's put it that way. Stormy, it's ready to rain. I have to run my dogs. Okay, have a good one. Have fun. Whoops. Giorgio Castle, what type of Taoist school you do? Castle, usually follow Bruce Francis. His work, Taoist is wonderful. Uh, um, Giorgio, do you teach Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, as well as the asteroids in your planetary magic? No, I don't. Don't. I'm going to be the intro to planetary magic workshop doesn't do it, but I will be kind of introducing them and kind of saying, well, not the asteroids, but Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, the trans-Saturnian planets. I'll kind of like have a little bit of a chat about them. But no, I'll follow the 7 classical planets in planetary magic itself. And asteroids would probably be part of astrological magic as well, which is not planetary magic. Um, Castle, did you catch in chat about Foundation? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. The foundational work in Qigong, Neigong. The energy work itself is, very important. The chosen, what's the best meditation before doing rituals? Depends on you. It really does. That's going to entirely depend on you, what you find to work better, because one method works good for some people and not so good for other people. So it's going to be one of those things you kind of have to find for yourself. Um, I usually sit down for 5 minutes and just sink into myself, and that's it. Some people might need to do something completely different. Um, but yeah, that's going to be a very personal aspect. Cthulhu. Lately, I've been seeing figures appear more often, just briefly at work and home. Does this happen a lot when calling on Boone? It can do. It can do because Boone is, in many regards, a gatekeeper. Um, guards the way between the worlds. So a liminal being. So yeah, it could definitely be. If you're working with Boone more, that could be your answer. Yeah. Psycat, here is one healthy option for and sugar free. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Lots of sweets. What are they? I don't even know what they are. It looks like a weird gem inside a pill or something. For you. Thank you so much. Um, so you do Taoist magic. As I said, a little bit. Mainly talismans and cleansing work and helping people cleansing housing them. Curious. Oh, veg rolls, is that what they are? Okay. Don't look like that to me. But anyway, Frankie's. Okay. I'm very bad when it comes to these emojis. I can't figure out what half of them are. Um, right. Oh, wait. Giorgio said, I'm curious, why do you all only do the 7 planets? It's so limiting in our complex, evolving society. Because it's the seven are the only ones that are necessary. Um, and it's the ones we have the longest, strongest connection to. Then it's also the ones that are visible. It's the ones that we can see the light of. And if you can see the light of it, then you can do magic with it. But you can't see the outer planets in the sky. So, you can't actually do planetary magic with them. You can, but people do. But, if you're following a traditional basis, you can't actually do magic with them because you can't see them. And when it comes to planetary magic, it's a very important aspect. Um, Castle said that helps a lot with moving your internal energy. Oh, this is back to the Qigong stuff. What socials you on, Mr. Castle? Because I like your vibe. Okay, so that. Has it got half an hour left? Right. Machine spirits are nice today. Yes, they are being nice today. Thursday was bloody horrible. I did the first episode of Hedge and History, and it was going really well. We were talking about cunning folk and whatnot. I got halfway through, and it stopped. It cut me off completely. So I started again and do part two. It's a real pain. But yeah, today's going pretty well. I'm impressed. Um, what's your thoughts on psychokinesis? Waste time or useful? It can be useful if you want to train your brain, if you want to train, your psychic senses and stuff. It can be very useful. But beyond that, it's good for a party trick, you know. So, okay, any new announcements today, or do you want to remind people about important updates? I'll do that on Tuesdays because I'm going to add that to the Brew and Babble, which is kind of like news of the community. I'll also add news of what I'm doing as well. So, any announcements I'll do on Tuesday now. Oh, bloody, yeah, I need to trim my bloody mustache. So, is there a way we can set up a time and date we can all at the same time do a ritual? Power in numbers. If you are on my Discord, Red Coven, there you can do it there if you want to chat to everybody and set up a time. Do you want me to just plonk the Discord link in here for anybody who's not connected to that? Yeah, let me just open it up. So I think Andrew on Discord was trying to set up rituals with people. We set up a channel specifically for it. Here we go. All right, as per Discord, that lasts 7 days, I think. So use it wisely. Oops, yeah, there we go. All right, Kasim, hello, Kasim. You are very late today. Okay, got half an hour left. I did want to ask you, but am I right in thinking some of the Goetic spirits are indeed teachers? I think they all are, really. I've had some interesting experiences lately. I think they all are, but there are some that are specifically kind of said their offices are to teach particular things, whether it's mechanical arts or rhetoric or um, geography or herbs and plants and all sorts of different things. Um, but I think all the spirits are. I mean, they're if we really take the name literally, it's a daimon, and a daimon is a tutelary spirit, which means it's protective and it's a teacher. Um, so they all are to some degree. Um, Just like also 16 people should be equal to 16 likes. Should be our token for the free guidance and wisdom. You can always pay me. There's a little dollar button there. You can just send me something. Castle Discord would be best. Yeah, there we go. So just go join the Discord. With the Discord, you have to you get the welcoming channel. Just click the little thumbs up, one of the icons on one of the posts above, and it'll open up the channels. It's just to get people in. Giorgio, this was dope. Thanks for making my day, being around like-minded people. It's an absolute pleasure. Deleted Discord, I guess we'll chop it here then. Discord's probably one of the best. It used to be the better option because it wasn't monitored the same as the other social media channels are. It's not. It's voice channels are still not monitored, but the rest of it is being monitored. You know, it's Big Brother decides. But still, it's one of the better. It's the algorithm. It hasn't got this algorithm that kind of spits out stuff to show you when it feels like showing you and when it doesn't feel like showing you, bugging you type of thing. It's you see everything, which is good. Kasim, so am I right in thinking that if they are teachers, practitioners have indeed been disregarding them with the Solomonic method all these years? I've found people usually have bad results with that. Yeah, I suppose you could view it that way. I mean, in the grimoire itself, in the Article Etienne, for instance, it does state that they are teachers of X, Y, and Z. And maybe people have been ignoring that. I'm not sure. I don't know. No, I don't think they have. But there is this idea that the Solomonic approach is one where you just kind of like a vending machine, you know, call on the spirit, do this. If you don't want to do it for me, I will torture you and harm you and burn you and everything else until you agree to do what I tell you to do. You know, that kind of attitude, which is really bad. Instead of building relationship. And if a spirit is going to teach you, you've got to build a relationship with them, you know, and give them things. Also, you can't expect anything, a teacher, a spirit, or a human, to teach you something if you do not give something. You know, there's got to be an exchange that's going on. So offerings, devotion, all of this stuff. So yeah, do you think the Solomonic approach, the modern Solomonic approach, kind of like missed a whole lot? Castor used my Damas magic yesterday, healed my brother. He was having a lot of trouble last night. Felt his pain go away and took it out of his body. Had to wash my hands. Black came off my hands. Nice. It is very nice when you can heal somebody. Uh, because my experience is that in general they want to be respected and worked with us, not be commanded. That's kind of the approach that people are starting to come to more. Um, you know, even before Connolly and the idea of modern demonology came along, we weren't very happy with the way it was being presented. I didn't like it. I've tried the by the book grimoire methods, especially the Ars Goetia, because that's kind of like where I focused, where I still focus. I tried it. I had everything set up and I did all the incantations and everything else, and it didn't work because I felt like I was being a fucking arsehole. And I was, these big, powerful entities that are thousands and thousands of years old, and I'm telling them, you will get in the triangle and you will do what I say or I'm going to burn you. Oh, please. I know the idea is to elevate yourself to a certain position, where you kind of like take on the mantle of the angels and all that stuff. But please, give me a break. Um, you get better results with honey than you do with vinegar, as they say. So treat them well, they treat you well. Treat them badly, when they get out of that cage, they're going to beat the shit out of you, which is all the stories we hear about. Why why the demons are so bad and are so dangerous and everything else. It's because the ceremonial magicians who are trapping them have these moments where the spirit gets out and beats the shit out of them and throws them across the room. Those are the stories you hear about because nobody's going to report and go, I had a wonderful time with the spirit today, you know? And people are only interested in the horrible stories, the disasters. So that's all we hear about, and that's where it continues. The spirits are bad, the demons are ugly, they're horrible, they're out to hurt you and harm you. Bullshit. Yeah. But it's just the way you treat them. If you're going to treat something badly, it's going to treat you badly. But anyway, stop my rambling. Moving on. Psycat said, yes, make me celeb. We'll sign a pact with you, Mr. Here we go again. Fuck off. On a serious note, hoping to make some money soon to return your favors. No, no, that's fine. Thank you. Um, if I can help, I can help. You know, you are definitely one of the people who are aware that there's always an exchange of energy. It doesn't matter what it is. So that the exchange comes in many, many different forms and formats. It's we just kind of put it to money because we need to pay bills and live nowadays. So that's how we kind of like make that exchange possible. But yeah, you're aware of the need for exchange, so don't worry. Giorgio, the Freemasonic Technomancy on social media doesn't play. Check out Liquid Crystals and D-Wave technology. Their technomancy is on another level. I'm gonna have to take your word for it because that's all very Greek to me. Freemasonic technomancy. Fuck no. That's a whole nother level there. Okay. Um, Andrea, terrible bad manners as well. Who's got bad manners? I haven't seen any bad manners. Giorgio Castle, that's dope. What was his problem? Water, metal, earth, wood, fire, psycatch. Healing is a true selfless practice. Gratitude to all who heal. Castle, old Giorgio, just as Ignis. I'm very in tune with nature and people. I felt she was imbalanced. Sounds interesting. Let's do it. Alexis W. A spirit around me is not your fan. Why? I just felt someone pulling my hand and I closed the tab where your life was playing. Just- That's not very nice. Gonna have to go and get hold of the spirit that's around Alexis. Yeah. Andrea, threatening demon spirits. Oh, yes, okay. All right, yeah. I get you. Though, yes, it is terrible bad manners. Yeah. Alexis W. Healing others also helps heal oneself in a way. It's a win-win. Oh, I agree with that. I mean, I'm a Reiki master, and I find that when I do healing for somebody, I'm bouncing off the walls afterwards because I've got all this bloody Reiki energy flowing through me into the person. You know, you're gonna pick it up, and it's gonna go into your body as well. But yeah, I don't do that anymore. I don't. Well, hands-on Reiki, I don't do it anymore. I just don't have the space. I kind of like, I don't know, we've been living here for about 6 years now, so I've just collected more and more stuff, so I don't have space to put up um, a massage bed. Um, Giorgio, yes, so they're doing quantum physics and quantum mechanics now. They're doing quantum finance and computing. Yeah, that's starting to get way beyond me. I was going to take this year actually and immerse myself in quantum physics and quantum mechanics, but yeah, I started and everything else just got away with me again. So maybe I'll make that next year's study. I kind of like try to dedicate the year to a particular topic, and I set up my books for the whole year and kind of like study the topic for the year amongst everything else. But this year kind of went off the rails, I think. Said hence why I said we need more than 7 planets. What the bad guys are on is on another level. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not necessarily. I don't know about that. I mean, just because they incorporate 3 more planets, um, doesn't mean it's going to be any more powerful than incorporating the 7 classic planets. Now it's kind of like a comparison of what's more powerful, ceremonial magic or folk magic. Neither. they're both as powerful, depending on if you can actually work it or not. Yeah. You said I stopped healing folks. People don't want to heal these days. Thanatos principle, meaning death drive. They want to die. That's quite sad, actually. Kasem, I also had thought, but maybe we goetic spirits used to be considered evil because of old social values. During Crowley's days, society was very conservative. These days, people are more accepting. That yeah, that is a possibility. There was a when you especially when you get into the medieval Renaissance grimoires, there's a huge influence on Christianity. Um, they were Christian magicians, and ceremonial magicians were Christian magicians, still are. So yes, there is that idea that the demons are this kind of lesser form of being, which the angels have to rule over and instruct and push and guide and everything else because the demons can't do it themselves. Um, so there is that worldview, but definitely not uh, nowadays. That has been changing, yes. Um, but it's just a worldview change. I think it's a necessary thing as well. Georgia, I love that. I wish more people planned their years ahead like you. I try, but it doesn't always happen the way I want it to. But yeah, I do my best, let's put it that way. Oh, you gotta go. Okay, have a good one. Thanks for joining. I'll hopefully see you next week then. Have a cheers for now. Love the sleep. Hello, I love the sleep as well. It's a good name. I like that. I listened to your Florius End meditations. Thank you for making that. That's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. I'm glad you enjoy it. Um, Andrea, I could really do with some help with Alice's depression. I'm having to do almost everything around the house and garden. Is he, is he seeing anybody for it? Um, Speaking to anybody? Anything like that? Getting any professional help? I know it's not easy, um, but it can sometimes make a whole world of difference if you can. Coffee. I need a microwave here so I can warm up my coffee. We'll get one of those heating pads or something. Keep it warm. I used to have one, but it's absolutely rubbish, and it like plugged into my USB. I've got no USB ports left on this laptop. Kisem said, "Where are your end meditations, Lee? I would love to. I did a few. Hang on, let me grab the playlist. Um, Content playlist. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there's 9 in here. So I think it was the 9 demonic divinities that I did. Get shareable link. Here we go. Here's the playlist. Um, Nia, I just imagined a huge microwave on the shelf between all the I don't know where to put it. I actually, I'm I'm full. I've got no more space in this room, and I still want to add another bookcase. I'm going to try and get one that's like a 300 wide, so I can put all of, you can't really see it, but I've got like a whole load of stuff on the bookcase here. But then I can put that on that bookcase, and then I can just fill these shelves up with more books. But I also want to get a small little aquarium with neons, so I can have that somewhere. I don't know where to put it. This place is so packed. I need a bigger room. I'm just gonna. I need to move at some stage, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. Where am I? Alexis, yes. Um, you should get one of those for your coffee or to keep any other drink warm. Yeah, I just wanted to like those little warming pads or whatever they're called. I need to get one. Definitely need to get one. Um, I'll go have a look for one next week, I think. Andrea, not really, but I have been listening to him, doing my best to help him. I've been starting. I think he's just lazy. Yeah, that's the problem. If it is genuine depression, it's difficult to get out of it. Um, and he probably needs somebody besides you to actually talk to. Have a look round for any kind of groups. I know a lot of places do group therapy. Quite often you don't pay for anything. Um, so have a look around, see if there's anything around you might want to join. It would be good for him. It's not going to be easy to get him to go, but I think once he goes, he might find it useful. He'll also make some other friends, which might help as well. But yeah, depression's a difficult thing. It really is. And once you're in it, you're in it. It's like being in a black hole and you can't find um, the 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 exit door type of thing. Sim says, thanks, Lee. Alexis, what? How come I never saw these end meditations? Are they old? This was done in 2021, so yeah, it's probably why I don't. This is the problem with Facebook. I kind of like I'll announce something on a video or tell people I'm doing something on a video, and then I don't say it again. But the problem is that only a certain amount of people see the video, and new people come along, they're not going to see the video. They have no idea what I do. I mean, the amount of people that I've been speaking to for like 2, 3 years, and they say, "Oh, you should write a book." I wrote one 11, well, I wrote two 11 years ago, actually three. And I've written books in the meantime. And they're like, "What? You've written books?" I'm like, "Yeah." What else do you do? Like this? No, really, because they just don't see it. That's why I often have to keep repeating things over and over again in videos because it's not, kind of like trying to push it down people's throats. It's because new people come along and they get the information then, whereas they wouldn't have got it before. So, but I feel kind of stupid, kind of repeating the same things over and over again. But you gotta do it. Yeah. And next is about the room. You should look to extend furniture shelves vertically rather than horizontally. Have organizers too. Yeah, I've actually you wouldn't believe what I do with this room. This is my everything room. This is my office. It's my bedroom. It's my ritual room. I do everything in here, and I've kind of like I'm on wheels. Let's put it this way. I'm kind of like the inventor um, of like confined spaces. So I got rid of my bed. I have a camping mattress. I sleep on the floor. I find it way better for my back and everything else. I sleep better. So I can fold that up in the morning and I kind of put it in the corner so it creates all this space. My desk is on wheels. Um, so I can push it backwards and I can push it around the room, anywhere around the room. So if I want to do ritual, um, what I usually do, because I quite often, most of the time, I don't actually do any kind of circle casting or anything like that. But what I'll do, I'll push the desk, against one of the walls, and then I've got a work table, and that's also on wheels. So I kind of wheel that over, and I sit down and I set up my work table, and I do my magical working from. I'm an art. I like to call myself an armchair magician because I do my magic from my armchair. But yeah, that armchair magician means a completely different thing. But yeah, I've got I've sorted this room out so that I can do so many things in it. The only drawback is that because I also use it as a bedroom, I can't leave spaces up unless I want to actually work in them during sleep. So I can open a space within the room and I can sleep in it, but you usually don't want to do that. So I open up a space, I have to shut it down, close it down, but I can't leave it like a temple room, for instance. So it's got its drawbacks, but it's got its pros as well. But it's quite fun. Do need to get a bigger room though, because I need more shelves. I got more. I need more books. I love my books. Um, where am I now? Castle. Is it cold over there, Lee? It is a bit cold. I think we've gone through our really bad cold spell. It'll probably start warming up again, and then usually about end of August we have that kind of last winter throw. But it hasn't been bad this year, actually, to tell you the truth. Um, I've had my heater on a couple times, but I put my beanie on when I'm working here. It's not that bad. Global warming, what can we say? Andrea, yep, I know I have depression, but I have to keep on going. He's antisocial, and I'm about the only person he wants to be around. It's difficult, but it's difficult on you as well, you you're there all the time, and you can't be all things all the time. So that's why I say he needs other people to talk to. You can be there to kind of like be a guiding hand or something, but you're not a psychologist, and he needs to go and talk to somebody else. Alexis 2, that's true. It's scientifically proven about sleeping on hard surface. The wheels idea is so convenient. Yeah, love it. It's brilliant. Um, I was because I was kind of like, what? The reason I actually sit in an armchair is because within a year I went through I think three or four office chairs, and I just went through different chairs because I had an office chair, it broke. I bought another office chair, it broke. I bought like a garden chair, it broke. They just kept breaking, so I thought, screw this, I'm gonna grab a bloody armchair from the lounge, and I'm gonna sit in here. And I was kind of like moving my desk in and out as I was getting up and down. I thought, wheels, let's put it on wheels. These ones actually lock as well. Two of them lock at the back, so I can actually lock one, and it kind of pivots, so I can push it in and out when I get up. Yeah, I've got this all sorted out. I'm really, I'm totally sorted. I've pimped my desk up. Yeah. Where am I? Castle Andrea, I'm antisocial as well, but I tend to go out and be with people. I'll be praying for him and you. And yeah, calling yourself an armchair magician because you genuinely use your armchair. Exactly my kind of humor. Yep. Yes. Oh, I love my dad jokes. It's an uncle joke, yes. Uh, um, Alexis said Andrea Lee is right. This sounds so difficult, sorry to hear that. What about inviting different friends, acquaintances, or hosting a home party at home? That's another possibility. Um, Castle, yes, he just getting stuck in his own mind like that. Are you drowning yourself? Shana, hello Shana. Thanks for joining. Finally get to see a live Covenstead. Uh, love what you share with us, Lee. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for watching and joining and commenting and all that stuff. Alexa's office chairs do break so easily. Yeah, especially but you got a lot of weight on you. That's very long. Um, Cthulhu, it's 100 in Mississippi. I'm dying. Oh shoot! I never get used to the heat. That must be bad, yeah. I mean, it's humid there, I'm sure, as well. I never got used to it in Iraq or Kuwait. It's dreadful. My idea of heaven is grey skies, cold winters, and dead trees. Can you imagine why? Yeah, totally understand that. Um, all right. So I'm gonna bring today to an end. Sorry, Shana, that we are at the end part of the live. But do join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Um, as I said, it's more of a talking head type of live where I kind of give all the information. If you've got questions though, drop them into the chat during those shows, and it'll give me something to make a short out of. I can answer your questions through that, um, which just creates more content, which is good for the channel and all that stuff. So, but yeah, hopefully I'll see everybody then, or I'll see you all next week here on the Covenstead. Have a good one. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the chat. It was great. Cheerio.